look, I apologise for the somewhat odd camera angle. I don't know who this video is going to appeal to, but it's one I want to get off my chest. And when I say I don't know who it's going to appeal to, I don't want to worry with the camera angle. I'm going to start whacking off or something. That's not the reason I've got the camera angled like that. I've got the camera angled like that because, well, I'll show you what I want to talk about. How to put a video together. So that's what I want to do. That's why I've got the camera in position ready. Before I do, a guy contacted me the other day, said I've done a video response to your Sportsmen, Sportswomen, Sexism video. The guy didn't have any subscribers. I'm his first subscriber. He's called the Dyslexic Dunce, and I thought his video was a really fantastic effort. He's only got half a dozen videos out and he hadn't got any fucking subscribers. It'd be great if he had a few more. Didn't agree with everything he said in his video, but he'd given his video some thought. He'd done a bit of research into the video. I thought it was really good, so I'll give you a link to his video. And if you like, have a watch, and it'd be great if we could get him a few subscribers, because it's shit that people put effort into these things and then nobody's really taking any notice of it. So that would be fantastic. Right, what I want to do is I made a Patreon video a month or so ago, and you always get some negative comments. Of course you do with those kinds of things, because people have different opinions on them. But one of the comments I got that really kind of disheartened me was that somebody said, 20-minute video, how long does that take to make? 2 or 3 hours? So ever since that I've thought, you know what, I'm going to have to bring this up, right, to get this off my chest. So here's a perfect example, and I'm picking this recent video I did on rape because it was in several sections, and those several sections involved different kinds are tackled in different ways, so I thought that'd be a useful video. So let me show you what's going on here then. So this is the video. This is an Adobe Premiere, which you get now on a subscription, which is fantastic. You get this on a subscription, which is about £17 a month, which is paid for via the Patreon money. So that's one of the things that's been really useful for it. It's allowed me to legitimately use this excellent software. So right, so where do we go from this then? So this video, let me show you what happens. So what I have, you can't see the numbers here, but there are 12 clips of me. It's a 25-minute long video, and there are 12 clips in this timeline of me. And let me just explain to you how I work. Okay, so in the days preceding, I've got my idea, I've got some idea, I've written some notes down that are unstructured, and then I'll start to write some structured notes down as to what I'm going to record. It's a basic structure, an outline for the video, okay? Then I'll structure it a bit more and put some notes of some specific things that I want to say as it comes up. But what I don't do is I script it. It falls the same way for me making a video as people who make speeches, who give speeches, which is that some people, when they give a speech, what they like to do is they like to I'll come back here so I'm addressing you. What some people like to do when they give a speech is they want it all scripted, they want it all written down, and they give it as a speech. Other people, and when I've given speeches, I like to have some pointers to keep me on track, and then to have gone through it in my head. Wouldn't want to give something cold. But you've probably done it half a dozen or a dozen times in your head before you actually go to do it. And so I try and do the same thing if I'm cycling to work, cycling home from work, bit of spare time. I'm going through it in my head, doing some housework, going through bits of it in my head. So it's kind of prepared there. So by the time I come to do it, I pretty much know what I'm going to say, and I know how I'm going to say it. But obviously it comes out different every single time, which is kind of how I like it, really, because you always end up with some bits that end up better than you thought. So what I have here is it took an amalgam of 12 takes. Now they're not 12 takes of the whole thing. The first one is just entitled rape1.mp4. So that was maybe the 4th or 5th take of doing it, but it all came out in one go up until this break point here, and the break point was where it swapped over onto the, where am I? I'm clicking on the wrong thing, onto the footage of Lacey Green, if you haven't seen the video. So I got it all the way to where I wanted it, but the next bit, before I got to the next segment where I could take an audio break, if you like, with a little bit more Lacey Green action, the next bit of Lacey Green action was right over, no, so where was the next bit of Lacey Green action? It was Big Lundy action right over here. So it actually took me 4 segments, 1, 2, 3 and 4 segments there. Okay, to do that, and the first one says rate 2 to 154, the second rate 3 to 158, the next rate 4 to 50. So that means rate 4 to 50 means that at 50 seconds, I've given it that file name, so I know at the 50-second marker, that is the point where I need to take up the next section of footage. And that's kind of how it works. Rate 3 to 158, I might have talked for 5 minutes there and then realised that it just wasn't up to scratch, or that I'd wandered slightly off in a way that I couldn't get back, or I'd started incorporating something that I really want to incorporate a little bit later. I jumped the gun and got the orders the wrong way round, and so I'd gone back, reviewed it and realised at the 158 marker, that is the time, because I liked the first 1 minute 58 of that bit, I liked the first 154 of this bit, so that was the time to pick it up again. So that's kind of how I work, and then it's a case of splicing them all, importing them all, editing them all, editing them all. Sometimes you've only got one frame you can play with, but it's quite good at picking out just the frame where the audio goes, right? I like to put a bit of a fade on the video but not on the audio, so I do all of that business. And then you've got the basic timeline then, and then everything else starts getting involved, including making up, I don't know if you can see it on here, making up little jokey graphics. I took a graph off the net and added a few bits, just a bit of self-deprecating humour there, but it's nice to add little bits like that. Obviously all these bits, all the main bits need, like this bit, that's got a background on it, but most of the time it's got a black background because it obviously had the green screen on, and then you use the chroma key software to remove that green screen effect, and then you start importing the other things and making the other things. Now you can see on here, all these are the bits. These are all the bits that are involved in this video, and that includes sections of video, it includes pictures, it includes titles, it includes highlighting, it includes all the different bits that's on here. There's 105 different items on here, which is more than most videos that I do. Most videos that I do have about 40 to 50. Quite a number of videos that go as high as 70 or 80. It doesn't normally go over 100. It's only ever happened a couple of times. Although some of the videos I make take significantly more work than this, because most of the items didn't take a lot of manipulation. They just transition in, they transition out, and that's the end of it. They're not being moved around the screen. There is some things that are moved around the screen on here. If I go through to the 1329, I know that that's one bit where it moves around the screen, and you can see what I did there. I brought up this BBC page there, and I wanted you to see the masthead so you could see it was from the BBC site, but this was the information I wanted, so I then had to move it across, then move it up, and then you can't see it, you can just see it on here. Then I highlighted the name Benjamin Bree on there with a highlighting box. So that's taking, there's the highlight being added, where are we? There's the highlight being added there, faded in, faded out at this end. There's the BBC's bit coming in, and then if you look at the BBC's timeline there, that's the timeline. And these little dots on the timeline for that is where that image is being moved around or being zoomed into or zoomed out of, or you could rotate the image, which I didn't in this case. But there's all the different ways that you can manipulate it. Obviously every single bit of that you do adds another little bit of time to it. And lots of different things do take time. I mean, there's a section in here where, if you look at that, we go from all these different bits of text there, which you can see are these bits here, then goes to this little storyline bit here where all these bits come in, and we've got all this crap which is all these bits here. Now, to get all these bits in at the same time is tricky. You know, it's a tricky thing to do because the timing is wrong, so you have to keep watching it, doing it again, 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 after you've made the resources to go on there in the first place. So obviously that takes quite a bit of time, but I think it's worth the effort. And then we have a standard technique that I use, which is, look, you can see there's Lacey there, look, about to start talking. So what I tend to do here is I have the bit of footage, I want to be up there, I have the bit of footage behind the timeline. Sorry, behind me. Right, there's Lacey, there's me, it's behind, and then I don't know if you can just see the pink bit shoots up the top there. The reason is that obviously when that picture expands, it needs to be in front of me. So at the moment, if I waggle my hand in the air there, it would go in front of the picture, and then I move the picture to the top so that the picture comes in front of me, and then you see it, and then at the end of the segment, the picture shrinks in, and then if I was to, I don't know if I actually do move over it, yes I do there, then you see it's behind me, so it looks like it's in the background. So that's something that I do a great deal of. Again, it takes a little bit more time to do. The point I'm trying to make with all this is, by the time you've set everything up and you've thought about it and you've done it and you've recorded it and then you've done all this editing work and then you made a thumbnail and then you've made your notes, if you can find me another human being that can do that in 3 hours, well, I'll suck your cock, quite honestly, because I just know that isn't going to happen. You're not going to find somebody who could do that. Okay, that's pretty much what it was. I just really wanted to get that off my chest, and I thought that some people might find it interesting just to see how I put a video together. So that's it. Okay, it's a throwaway video. Thanks for watching. If you've watched, fuck off if you haven't, and that's it. Bye for now.